Turakhia, of course, by now you know the trend, you know what happens at Rescon here. It's a small one-liner question that we'd be asking you. Mr. Turakhia, your tech talk today is on the next gen data and AI platforms. And I see Mr. Turakhia is very excited to answer, but the question is, we'd love your one-line answer on. So how would you want the next generation and the generation after that and the generation after that and the generation after that to remember the great Mr. Harshil Turakhia as? In one line, how would you want your generations to remember you?
Well, talking from the technical perspective, yeah, a tech savvy, but personal perspective, yeah, a big foodie. So
Fantastic, fantastic foodies delight. All to all the foodies out there, you know that's a very great session, and to all the techies out there, you know a great session is awaiting. Harsh, stage is all yours. Thank you so
thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you.
I mean, overwhelming introduction, but yeah, thank you so much. Great. Yeah. So thank you everyone for taking out time. Yeah, and we have been through some wonderful sessions. As our panelists touched upon almost all the key points that we would like to cover in this today's session. As you are aware, I'm Harshil Turakhia. I'm brand technical specialist. I'm representing data and AI as a platform for IBM. What I'm going to cover in today's session, I'm going to touch base upon a couple of key important topics as far as data and AI platform is concerned, right? We'll start with the data fabric, and then eventually we'll move to the conversational AI, right? Now, talking about data, I mean, it's given, right? Every enterprise thrives for being data driven, right? And these are some of the known complexity or inhibitors that typically organization faces while embarking on the data embarking on their data-driven enterprise vision, right? So these are some known facts, and I'm sure organizations are at a different maturity level to work or to cover this up. But as we have heard in our panel discussion, right? So with emergence of cloud, hybrid cloud, multi-cloud, there are some new inhibitors that have arisen. Mr. Prasanna talked and touched based upon, about decentralizing your data by moving it to the cloud. And when I say cloud, it is combination of multi-clouds, a hybrid solution to altogether, which has its own complexities, right? And as the panelists touched based upon it. So we're talking about complexities around security, governance being a key problem statement in terms of while you are scattering your data across various ecosystems, across multiple cloud, you need to stitch that data to a global catalog, right? Where so that you have a central, you should have a mixed balance of centralization and decentralization. That's the idea, right? And that's where we introduced, or it's not something that we are introduced. Gartner has rated data fabric design as one of the key concepts, right? Which helps you stitch that single fabric, helps you create that global catalog to stitch all the metadata across your various ecosystem. It touch points all your data scattered across different data points, right? And it becomes extremely important in kind of scenario or the ecosystem that we build, which is more on the hybrid cloud or a multi-cloud scenario. Some of the key capabilities, of course, I will not cover each and every one of them. I'll just highlight on data democratization, right? So what does data fabric gives you? We've heard panelists talking about enhancing, a data culture within the organization, right? So data democratization plays a key role to it. What we mean by that is, it's about empowering all your users and make them comfortable by giving them tools that helps them access to all data within the ecosystem with ease of use. And while talking about data democratization, data governance is something that goes hand in hand while you give access to the users across your organization. The next key thing is about data virtualization, right? So of course it's nothing new, right? The data virtualization concept is there for ages. But what we are essentially trying to say is that we heard about a lot of organization coming up with innovation labs, right? Where they want to quickly turn up to some use cases, try out few use cases, test the water, understand whether it would fit for your ROI or not. That's where the combination of data virtualization and data science becomes really lethal. It gives you ability to quickly test few use cases that you intend to do as part of your innovation lab, and then take it ahead. And at the end of the day, making all your users self-service, be it self-service analytics, self-service data exploration. That's where. So these are some of the key capabilities that data fabric as a design brings to you onto the table, right? Moving ahead, that's where IBM has been investing heavily in terms of designing a complete data fabric solution. And that's where we introduced our flagship product called as Cloud Pak for Data. As you can see, irrespective of wherever your data resides, right, there's one unified platform to cater to all your data and AI needs and cater to all your downstream applications and your use cases. So what it does is we heard concept of collaboration, composed architecture, right? That's where you enhance collaboration by bringing all user personas within your team on one single platform. That's the key takeaway from data virtualization or data fabric as a design. Now we'll focus more on some of the key use cases that we have came across by interacting with our customer across the industries, right? To start with, we talked about, right, data governance. So data governance is absolutely must to have. So data governance approach is absolutely must to have for some of the highly regulated industries that we worked upon, right? Where we ensure that while we are embarking on data democratization as a journey, we don't give away the governance or the strict regulation or compliance aspect that is crucial and key for any organization. The key differentiation that we bring onto the table, as I mentioned, with our data fabric design concept, it's completely AI augmented data catalog for all your users. So it would help you define AI-based automated rules to mask your data, to apply your data policies to the PII or sensitive data. That helps while we are entering into multi-cloud or a hybrid cloud kind of an environment. Talking about multi-cloud, Gartner recommends highly to have a vendor-dependent or a cloud-independent data integration technology that helps you collect data from wherever it resides. It helps you run the data, process the data wherever, everywhere to the infrastructure of your choice. We heard Mr. Manish talking about choice being a key factor, right? When you as a data owner, what we feel is you as a data owner should have complete choice or should have complete control over the various choices you made in terms of selecting your ecosystem and spreading your data across. That's where multi-cloud data integration with end-to-end data ops capability becomes one of the powerful use cases that we have seen in the industry. Next, we talk about customer 360. Again, every organization talks in some or other form of this, of creating a single view of the customer, knowing your customer completely with a 360 view. What it helps is data fabric as a concept helps you to create the single view of the customer so that your technical folks, your data scientists, your business analysts can focus on some of the core key capabilities of delivering analytics and AI insights out of the data. Immediate example would be a next best action or a next best offer kind of a use case for, when we're talking about making this hyper-personalized offers or schemes for our customer. And again, the key differentiator that we bring onto the table is the ML-powered probabilistic fuzzy dedupe logic onto the table. Next is, we talked about data ops as part of data integration module. The platform supports you, gives you X ops capability in terms of not only building your data and analytics pipeline, but also monitoring, managing the entire life cycle of them. A single or a unified platform that gives you end-to-end data governance and XOps capability is what the key message that we would like to take you from this slide. Now moving ahead onto the analytical or XOps or MLOps capability, right? So we talked about democratizing data, but what about democratizing analytics, right? That becomes a key word. Now these days we have a kind of elite team called as data scientist. And this data scientist has their own way of working, right? And these are the most taken care of employees within an organization, if I have to quote. So what we have seen is there are three or more than three layers or personas of a data scientist. The ones who would like system to do everything, they just have a data set, they want to give it to the system and then rely on the system generating value add or giving a score out of it. Second, we have a personas who would want to create a flow, end-to-end flow of their use case, but they don't want to do a heavy coding stuff. So they are low code, no code kind of a capabilities come with a lot of drag and drops and creating those ML pipelines, right? And third is our hardcore data scientist who loves to take the jobs on their hands and loves to write the code. So we cater to all three personas as part of our cloud pack for data as an offering, where each user has a choice of what they want to, of developing the use cases. And that's what we bring on the table as a key differentiator. With a complete integration with open source technologies. And not only development, but the platform also takes care about the deployment and the operations. It's very essential to operationalize your use cases, right? We heard them panelists talking about there are a lot of things that goes into the development activity, but hardly few things gets operationalized. And that's where you need a tool that helps you and your team to operationalize the hard work that they are putting in, right? So that's again a key message. And talking about operationalizing your model or your ML pipeline, it actually consists of a lot of things, right? You need to ensure that your model is fair. You need to ensure that your model, there are no drifts in the model inferences over a period of time as the data changes. These are some of the common problems that we face typically in our day-to-day life, right? Model should, whatever result the model takes, it should be able to explain it to you, right? So there is a level of explainability that helps in a highly governed industry, right? Let's say when model is inferencing a result or an output, and then a regulator asks you a question and you're taking decision basis that, the model gives you a simple English explainability in terms of how or what are the inferences that were drawn in terms of that goes behind in taking those decisions. So not only just the development part, but also the operationalization part, as we have covered, the entire XOps journey in our data fabric design is available as part of this platform. Now that was on the data fabric part, right? So we now move on. We talked about operationalizing analytics, right? So now we'll talk about operationalizing the AI. That's where we talk about our conversational AI offering. So I'm sure you all must agree, you all would agree that, right? That we live in the age of instant payments, instant banking, transportation, instant answers to all our questions. In short, we live in an era of instant everything. So instant that, a survey says that approx 90% of the customer switch to the competition as soon as they face a bad experience. Experience is the key term, right? That's where we are going to focus. So what we intend to tell you is that how frictionless, how quick, how instant, we can respond to our customer to enhance their experience and take it to a different level. Imagine a scenario where, it looks something like this, where a customer is stuck into some problem. They're trying to resolve it. First, they went to their mobile app. Then they were directed to an agent, where they had given the demographic details, where it went on hold, then it transferred to some other team. It again asked for your demographic details. I mean, I'm sure all of us must have experienced such scenarios, right? And that's where we impact that experience of the customer, where they has to, travel multiple loops. So what you need is something like this. A single channel or a single point of interface for all your customer to answer all their needs, right? So how do we do it? IBM delivers a extremely a frictionless experience to your customer by connecting this infinity loop, where we collect, organize, and analyze all our customer data in such a way and infuse it so that our interaction with customer becomes, it gives our customer next level experience while interacting with them. And these are some of the use cases that we have seen, right? So we have seen customer care. Ask HR is something that has been, in a lot of traction we have seen against Ask HR. Agent Assist, where they want to help their contact center team or their agent in terms of responding to the customer in real time by integrating with a lot of regional languages and coming into the play, right? So that's, and how do we achieve that? With our end-to-end conversational solution that gives you an end-to-end flow, not just from the chat perspective, but from the voice perspective as well. So chat plus voice-based conversational flow, AI flow, end-to-end, where your customer or employees, irrespective of whatever channels they are coming from, right, whether it is social media sites, your internal communication, be it Teams or any other communication channel, your phone, customer landing to your websites, etc., they all will be integrated through a single channel, which will be connected to your all downstream data, where using Watson Discovery, so this is an enterprise-wide search tool engine where we index the data that helps you create a knowledge base, a unified knowledge base of all your unstructured data, so that you have a seamless experience, the customer has a seamless experience and they don't have to travel those multiple loops that we have seen in the earlier slides. That's the idea. Talking about Watson Discovery a bit, where I explained, right? So irrespective of wherever your data is, I could take an example of a claims processing for an insurance sector, right? Where they get a lot of documents, a lot of bills, a lot of reports, data, etc. All this is in unstructured format. You can collect all this data, ingest it into our knowledge base, and that helps you form a consolidated knowledge base for all your lookups to any data or any questions or interaction from the customer. With 8-level enrichment, natural language enrichment. Now that's a clear-cut differentiator that we bring on the table. It gives you an 8-level natural language enrichment capabilities that does not only do the lookup or search from the keywords perspective, but it gets a lot of other factors into the play, like emotion, checking emotion of the customer, sentiments of the customer or employee, etc. So this entire architecture helps you and your customer get that next level experience, which eventually helps in increase or the NPS rating that we have, which is directly proportional to our revenue growth, right? So this is an area where we are getting tremendous traction from the market. Talking about our conversational AI as a concept, right? We're proud to say that we are rated right at the top by Gartner and Forrester, with almost 2% of global population interacting with the virtual agent or assistant using our platform. These are some of the snapshots of the customer set that we have across the globe, but yeah, there are lot many others. Now, how do we get this, right? So I think I still have some time where we can discuss on this slide. This is slightly busy slide, but this is where we introduce our cloud pack for data. All the capabilities that we have been talking about since past 15 minutes is bundled as part of unified platform, one unified platform, which is modular in nature. Now, with respect to the maturity you are, right, in your data and AI journey, this platform helps you fit, the modular nature of the platform helps you start right from where you are at the current stage, right? Where we have logically divided the entire platform into 4 components, key components, where we first talk about collecting or storing the data in a persistent store. This could be in the form of warehouse, marts, lakes of your choice. Then organizing the data in a way that takes care of all your ETL, all your DQ transformations, help you get the data governance in place along with data virtualization. Then comes our analytical capability, AI piece, advanced analytics, and then operationalizing it. The key part is the red layer at the bottom, right? With our strategic partnership with Red Hat OpenShift, we are infra agnostic. So what it means by that is irrespective of whether you are on-prem, on a single cloud, on a multi-cloud, or any of the hybrid environment, this is one answer to all your problem statement as far as data and AI concerned, which brings all user personas on a single platform, which eventually enhances your overall collaboration. So these are some of the key points that we would like you to take away. And of course, I think I only have 1 minute left. But yes, if there are any other questions, I'm with my colleagues on the booth we have arranged, and we can get into a personal one-on-one interaction to take this ahead. I think I just have 1 minute for the question, if I can. Yeah. So happy to take a couple of questions if we have, or else I'm happy to connect one-on-one in the booth. Yeah. No, great. So again, just to touch base, unified platform cater to you a use case irrespective of any industry. It can be applied to any industry, as I said. With that, thank you very much. You have been a lovely audience. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for